blowing money on nails, shopping, and Starbucks.
Girl math is on your apartment complex $6,065 and you're pending an eviction and still being in line for Starbucks because do I have enough for rent? No. Do I have enough for Starbucks? Yeah.
Going live and asking strangers to pay their rent.
I want to be fully transparent with you though. I set up a GoFundMe last week in preparation for this potential outcome because covering the entirety months of rent.
And turning their financial disasters into content.
Give the money back! Send it! I didn't get scammered! I never left this live stream! I never paused this!
If you spend any time on TikTok like I do, you've probably noticed that apparently financial responsibility isn't private anymore.
Because like I said, it's a system that's not meant for me to succeed, so.
Creators will post themselves spending money on things most people would probably cut back on when they're struggling. But for some reason, we still can't look away.
Okay, y'all, these were the final nails. 88, y'all.
Lately, though, more and more people are starting to question this kind of content, especially when those same creators turn around and ask their followers for money.
How much do I owe? $6,065. 600 people in here, and if everybody was to tip the tip jar $10, I could knock this go down. But it's never a room full of people supporting me, so. God.
I'm Paul from Retail Meltdown. I am a virtual creator. I worked for 6 years in retail, and my mission is to expose the darker side of the retail industry. In today's video, we're looking at influencers blowing money on everything but their bills, and then asking strangers online to bail them out. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. And as always, leave a like and drop a comment for the algorithm. It really helps a lot. Now let's see what retail is really like.
All I do is say oh, that last song did she said goodbye.
Back in the day, asking strangers for money online was usually something people were embarrassed about. Today, some creators turn it into an entire content strategy.
Mr. Beast donated $1.99 through Super Chat. Big Black Monkey Boy, Big Black...
Good times. Today, TikTok looks a little different because now people can spend money publicly, get themselves into financial trouble, and then ask their followers to fix it. And somehow, millions of us keep watching these financial disasters unfold in real time. The question is, when does asking for help turn into expecting strangers to fund your lifestyle? I'm not talking about creators who receive genuine donations for the work they do. Being an influencer is a real job, and creating content takes a lot more time and effort than people think.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Today, we're talking about influencers who simply cannot handle money, blow it on Starbucks, fast food, shopping, and whatever else they want, and then turn around and beg their followers on social media to pay the bills.
Y'all, so I'm just leaving Starbucks and I have to tell y'all, so usually I get the matcha, the lavender cold foam with the matcha, only because I really like the lavender cold foam. You finished your cake, Papa? All done? Good job.
Anyone donating money to people like this is probably spending a little too much time scrolling, and the only people really benefiting are the influencers themselves, filling their pockets by turning begging into content. A much better way to spend your money is to treat yourself to a new piece from my clocked out store. I designed every item myself, which allowed me to focus on using the best quality possible for each product. The shirts and hoodies are made with premium quality materials, and every piece is printed on both sides. The clocked out mug starts at just 18 bucks and makes a great gift for anyone working in retail, or just a fun little statement piece for the break room or at home. Just check out the store linked in the description. Buying something from my own shop is a huge way to support the channel, and I genuinely appreciate every single person who does. Instead of just showing off their lives, some influencers now document every bad financial decision in real time. Expensive food, shopping, nails, trips, and then act shocked when the bills finally catch up with them. Of course, people making terrible money decisions on the internet is nothing new. Think about all the creators who flexed expensive lifestyles online while constantly complaining about being broke. But now there's a whole new level to it. Creators publicly spending money they clearly don't have, then going live and asking their followers to cover rent, bills, or whatever emergency comes next. And somehow, The people watching are expected to clean up the mess every single time. One example is Brianna Nicole, who regularly goes live on TikTok, shows off things like her fresh nails, and then turns around and asks her followers for money.
So, I've come to the conclusion that I probably need to stop gardening. Yep, I don't think I'm gonna garden anymore, at least not in the mornings, because I haven't got nothing done.
Begging on the internet might work in the short term, but it also creates a massive digital footprint that many of these still young women may never be able to fully erase.
How much do I owe? $6,065. That's how much I owe. $6,065. 2 months worth of rent, 2 months worth of late fees, and an eviction filing fee. $1,500 onto the rent, because like I said, it's a system that's not meant for me to succeed. So, yeah. 600 people in here, and if everybody was to tip the tip jar $10, I could knock this goal down. But it's never a room full of people supporting me. So, God, you got it. I give up. Oh, Lord. I don't know what to say about this one. Like, Brianna, you did it this time, bitch. Got yourself in quite the pickle. Oh, my God.
God is good. God is great. God is good.
The reason this kind of content works is pretty simple. We feel bad for them. It triggers emotion, and influencers know exactly how powerful that can be. At the same time, we're also fascinated by it, because it's hard to look away when someone keeps making completely irresponsible financial decisions, and every new post somehow gives us another reason to shake our heads.
Out of my head, and I need your help. Listen, I'm very uncomfortable making this video because this is a video I thought I'd never have to make.
Short-form content is built to keep you watching, especially when someone is sharing a financial crisis, asking for money, or making another obviously bad spending decision.
About maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, I had a deal with a dentist, and he was going to completely take out all my teeth and give me a brand new set of teeth, because through addiction, my teeth are severely destroyed. And the deal ended up falling through. And for the past maybe 2 months, you guys know I've been on my own dental health journey. I've gotten, a few cavities filled. I had a root canal. And every time I go to the dentist, it's made clear to me, I'm fighting an uphill battle. Like, it's being made clear to me that no matter how much I do here, I'm gonna eventually have to take out all my teeth.
And the creators who are best at this don't just post one desperate video. They turn the entire cycle into content, spending money, going broke, asking followers for help, and then doing the same thing all over again.
Yeah, it makes me pay $3,000 a month. I can't afford. And I've been saying I can't afford this. I'm so tired. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I want to go, man. I just want to kiss off. I'm so tired. I'm just a person. I didn't mean for this to go how it went.
And then there are creators like Cozy Grocery. Cozy Grocery has been getting a lot of criticism on YouTube lately because of the way she talks about her former roommates and shares personal details like she's having a private conversation with her best friend. She overshares everything: arguments, private situations, personal problems, and puts it all online for thousands of strangers to watch.
You're gonna have to forgive me for being a little lower energy than I would like to be when telling this story, but I was out until almost midnight last night. I promise if you give me a chance to give you some context, this story is so worth it. 24 hours ago, I was told by my current roommate that I was getting kicked out at the end of June, even though I moved in a month ago. Quickest backstory on me: I'm a full-time artist in New York City and I've always wanted to live here. I broke up with an abusive ex, quit my job, moved here with not a lot of money, Through all of last year, I've just been aching to find home. I felt like this place was it. My room faces a backyard, so I get to hear the birds. It has a rooftop and I can see the entire skyline. It's perfect. I have one roommate, and when I met them, it seemed like everything was fine. There was a verbal agreement we were going to be re-signing in July, and that was when I was going to join the lease. When I moved in May, her tone changed, and it felt like she started policing me over things that were so elementary. I'm about to turn 30. This person is mid-20s, but acting like they're in high school.
Recently, Cozy Groceries content has become even more extreme. She'll launch entire expose-style storylines and turn conflicts with former friends or roommates into massive multi-part series with dozens of videos.
She also started a GoFundMe. I'm going to insert the GoFundMe right here so you can read it briefly. You didn't start a GoFundMe because you lost your job, you have medical expenses to take care of, or have hard times at this moment. You started a GoFundMe because you don't have the funds for the apartment, and instead of being honest about that, you're blaming me. People have asked you multiple times, why don't you get an actual job? And your response is always, I'm an artist. There is plenty of artists in New York City that still have regular jobs because they know rent needs to be paid at the end of the day. And instead of finding a job, you decide to basically scream, call me out of my name, say that I am a nightmare roommate, blaming me for not wanting to re-sign the lease with you, which is crazy. I feel like if you started a GoFundMe that said, I can't afford rent right now, that's one thing. But because you switched the narrative and basically stated you are trapped in a traumatized, abusive situation with your roommate because I'm choosing to leave is completely different.
Her videos get thousands of views. And even though a lot of the content can be uncomfortable to watch, she still receives massive support whenever she asks for help. So the real question is, why do we keep giving influencers money, even when we can clearly see and criticize the decisions that helped put them in that situation in the first place? Influencers often get treated like the easy villain in all of this. But at the same time, it makes sense why this kind of content keeps sliding further and further into begging. Because this type of content gets clicks, and every time people donate or step in to help, creators get the message that it works. And that feedback loop can turn into a downward spiral, where more and more creators start living beyond their means and using TikTok as a place to ask strangers to cover the difference. Social media has basically become a machine built around showing us things we want, things we envy, and things that trigger us emotionally. So it's not really surprising that creators who never asked for money in the beginning eventually start doing it once they realize people are willing to pay.
I have never asked for money in my life. Never, 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 never.
And once that happens, these influencers quickly get labeled as greedy. They become the person everyone blames for selling out their values for easy money, even though in many cases, they're simply giving the audience more of what the audience keeps clicking on.
And the literal last second I got it, I'm in my car. I can't keep staying in hotel rooms because it's like one night here, one night there, 5 nights here, 2 nights there. It's not stable. Well, I didn't pay for it. So I used the money for gas and other things because I couldn't cook in the room. I had all this food and I can't cook it. I had to buy food yesterday and I had to buy gasoline. They really enjoy anyone who's down on their luck and needs help. They're determined to find reasons why that person is a scam artist.
And that kind of cycle doesn't leave creators untouched either. Of course, this isn't completely black and white. Begging culture isn't only growing on TikTok, we're seeing more of it online and in public in general. But these influencers are still the ones choosing to use these mechanisms to their advantage. And that's what turns it into a vicious cycle. The reason so many influencers end up begging for money on social media is obviously more complicated than just calling them lazy or greedy. Especially when you compare them to actual creators who spend hours researching, filming, editing, and building content that their community genuinely wants to support. While real creators let their work speak for itself, begging influencers turn their personal problems into the content itself. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's ever justified to pay the bills of influencers who clearly can't manage their own money? And are there any creators you've actually supported before because you genuinely valued the work they were putting out? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a comment below and let me know if this kind of behavior annoys you too. Subscribe to the channel and become part of the community. And together, we can keep exposing what the internet and retail is really like.